Alright folks, wanted to give you some tips on how to play One of These Days by Emmylou Harris. Now this song is originally done in the key of B flat. I've done song sheets for the key of C, and I also did a song sheet do it in the key of F, because the chorus is hard for me to sing. It's a little too high for me in the key of C. So I put it in F, and then that way I can sing the verse and the chorus. But what I want to give you tips on for this song is raising some fingers while you play the chords. So if you play this in the key of C, what I want you to do is when you get to the G at the end of the first verse, I want you to lift your middle finger, which is going to be on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, and I want you to just lift that up and play that 1st string open. So it's going to kind of sound like this. Well, I won't have to chop no wood. I can be better, I can be good, I can be any way that I feel one of these days. Hear that? So you're going to throw that in at the verse, at the end of the first verse when you play that G. You can also do it when you're playing the C, because at the end of the 2nd verse you end up on a C, and you can also lift there. Just gives some extra texture to the song. So if you're playing this in the key F, you can do the same thing. At the end of the first verse you'll end on that C, and again you can just lift that C note and play your strings open, and it will sound like this. Well, I won't have to chop no wood. I can be better, I can be good, I can be any way that I feel one of these days. And lastly, I want to give you some tips on how to transition between the F chord and the B flat chord if you're playing this in the key of F, and I'll do close-ups on that. Alright, so in this song we're going to transition between the F chord and the B flat chord. And there's two ways to play that B flat. You can play it like a bar, where you bar all the way across the 1st fret with your 1st finger, and then you put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string and your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. Or you can play it where you put your 1st finger on the 1st and 2nd strings on the 1st fret, and then your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string and your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. It just depends on which way your hand is more comfortable. Okay, some people, their wrist and stuff might be more comfortable playing it this way, and some people might be more comfortable playing this way. If you play it this way, your thumb can actually come around the ukulele a little bit more for some people. But if you play the bar, typically your thumb is going to end up being pressed against the back of the ukulele. At least that's the way I do it. And I found that for most people that's kind of true. So as you drop this finger down, your thumb can come around a little bit more. So just kind of figure out which way you like to do that best. So one thing to keep in mind is if you're playing the F chord here and you go to the B flat and you're playing it where you're only covering the 1st and 2nd string with this finger, basically this finger is just going to rock back and forth. It's not going to change position much. So you're going to be in this position for the F chord, and then when you drop to go to the B flat, that finger is going to drop down. This finger is going to drop from your 4th string down to your 3rd string, and then you're just going to drop this finger here on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. So you don't want to have a lot of hand movement. You want to go from this to this. Alright, so when we go from our F to our B flat, we're just going to be taking this finger, and your index finger is just going to rock down across those 2 strings. Your middle finger is going to be here on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and it's just going to drop down to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then your ring finger is going to come up here and hit the 3rd fret of the 4th string. So we're going to be at the F chord, and then we're going to rock down and be at the B flat chord like this. Again, you can play the B flat like this if that's easier for you, depending on your wrist position and your thumb position. And then when we go to the C chord, we're just going to drop down. Our ring finger's already covering the strings on the 3rd fret, and so we're just going to drop down to the 1st string, 3rd fret for our C chord.